the peace deal that echoes the end: Israel, Gaza, and the shadow of the Antichrist. The final prophetic act. Imagine a headline: Mid-East conflict solved. Peace achieved in Israel and Gaza. The world would cheer, right? But what if that peace is the precise signal for the greatest catastrophe humanity has ever faced? The Holy Bible, our book of prophecy, is crystal clear. The rise of the figure the Apostle John calls the Antichrist will be cloaked in a brilliant worldwide deception with the stability of the Middle East, and specifically Israel, at its very core. The prophetic trap. Peace and security in God's time clock. The very heart of Christian eschatology, the study of the end times, hinges on Israel. It is there that the Antichrist will solidify his 7-year reign, a period the prophet Daniel foresaw, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, symbolizing 7 years. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Daniel 9:27, KJV. The string of diplomatic successes, the peace efforts in the Israel-Gaza conflict, and especially the Abraham Accords under the Trump administration, are widely viewed by prophetic watchmen as the dress rehearsal for this fateful 7-year covenant. Why? 1. The peace and safety alarm. The Apostle Paul's warning is chillingly direct. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, KJV. The Trump-era initiatives were globally celebrated as ushering in a new era of peace. But the prophetic danger isn't the desire for peace, it's the counterfeit peace that immediately precedes the sudden destruction, the period of the Great Tribulation. 2. The master diplomat's debut. The Antichrist, described in Revelation 6:2 as the rider on the white horse who comes forth conquering and to conquer, uses peace and powerful persuasion as his initial weapon, not outright military force. The achievement of unifying historically hostile Arab nations with Israel creates the political and economic landscape, the perfect stability needed for one singular, globally influential leader to step in and finalize the ultimate global treaty. 2. The architect of the deal, Jared Kushner, and the profile of the deceiver. The figure of Jared Kushner, a senior advisor who was the primary driver behind the historic Middle East deals, is the subject of intense eschatological focus. His rapid ascent, his unprecedented influence, and his successful push for the deal of the century fit the biblical description of the man who will temporarily rule the world. The Antichrist is the satanic opposite of Christ, a charismatic, brilliant, and unparalleled negotiator. Kushner's accomplishment, achieving what generations of seasoned diplomats could not, gives him the precise aura required to be perceived as a global savior, solving the unsolvable. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been the global flashpoint for decades. Kushner's success provides him with the undisputed credentials of a world-class problem solver. Operating with decisive influence, he exerted tremendous power, often quietly, achieving results on the world stage's most critical front. The Antichrist is the man of sin, 2 Thessalonians 2:3, one who manifests during a time of great falling away, apostasy. His central role in the prophetic hot zone is viewed by some as the precise foreshadowing of the political power that will eventually stand against God. Third, the final piece, the rebuilding of the temple. If peace is the Antichrist's precondition, The final sign is the rebuilding of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. 2 Thessalonians 2:4 KJV. The temple must be constructed so the Antichrist can ultimately desecrate the holy place by stopping the sacrifices midway through the 7-year covenant, Daniel 9:27. The stability and cooperation fostered by the Kushner-backed accords are seen as dissolving the political and religious roadblocks that have prevented the construction of the third temple. This peace is effectively the building permit. For believers watching the signs, the peace deals in the Middle East are not simply political victories. They are the sound of the final clock ticking down. Peace is not the destination. It is the ultimate deception. The next time you see a headline about stability in the Holy Land, remember the biblical warning. The deal has been made. The architect has been revealed. The prophecy is unfolding. What will happen when that 7-year count truly begins? The answer is in the silence that precedes the storm. Time is running out.